You ever get a chance to go down to Space Center Houston, it's well worth taking a tour. This is the big giant swimming pool that's used for spacewalk training. Fun fact for you, it holds 6.2 million gallons of water. Again, more time spent training, developing that teamwork, developing that trust. You never get away from the water. I did all this training in the military, water survival training. You also had to do that as a shuttle astronaut. And eventually, the day came when you got in your T-38 jet to fly down to the Kennedy Space Center. You fly around the launch pad, you finally see your space shuttle there, ready to go. Launch day would come, get dressed in your suits, walk out as a team, get on that van to make your way out to the launch pad. Climb in, fly there patiently for 2.5 hours. This is where I drew on my crew training once again. We've talked about thus far, Jessica and myself, crew being a really hard sport. A lot of pain, grueling, maximum effort. You get used to dealing with the pain. On the space shuttle, we used to fly on parachutes. There's nothing you can do to make a parachute comfortable for the 2.5 hours that you fly on it. So I was dealing with that pain again, and I just went back to my rowing days and like, I can do pain. I can lie here. I can wait patiently until we finally have our opportunity to leave the planet. You never know how you're really going to react during your first launch. It was an absolutely amazing experience. On my first flight, I actually sat on what was called the flight deck. I was the flight engineer. I helped the commander and the pilot fly the vehicle. We monitored all the systems. So, left off the launch pad. I'm doing the professional thing that I've been trained to do, monitoring all the systems. And it was like I had this split personality. All of a sudden, this little kid side of me kind of raised up. And if that side of me had taken over, I probably would have giggled the whole way up into space. It was such a phenomenal ride. But in the world of crew, we have the saying, eyes in the boat, eyes in the boat. That's the way we remind ourselves to focus, to look at that stroke rower, somebody like Jessica, and be perfectly in sync with the action of her oar. So there I was, this little kid inside of me trying to take over, and I thought about eyes in the boat, get back, you gotta focus, you're the flight engineer, stay focused, stay focused, stay focused. Unfortunately, that professional side of me took over, but once again, we were back to that crew experience. Let me get serious for a moment. I really enjoy talking to young kids, young people of your age, and making this message clear. It is possible to make your dream come true. I talked before about that hard work, that delayed gratification, that perseverance, determination, discipline, focus, all those things I've learned in crew. I applied that over that 25-year period to make my dream come true. When your dream comes true, it is an incredible experience. It's almost overwhelms you emotionally. It is this magical moment. And when it really hit me during my first flight, it was my first opportunity to look out the window and see a view like this. That's when it hit me that I was living my dream. And it was far better than I had anticipated it. And at that moment, all that hard work paid off. And I thought, if I don't get to look out the window again, this has been enough. This has been amazing. I'm here. My dream has come true. So owing a lot to the world of crew, there is my ball cap up in space with me on my first mission. My commander was also another Naval Academy grad. So it was really very special to me to take this cap up into space. But even more special, having a crew shell named for me at the United States Naval Academy. Now, normally crew shells, like other boats, are named for people who are no longer living. So this was kind of an interesting experience to have Naval Academy call up one day and say, well, we want to name a crew shell after you. So this was christening day at the United States Naval Academy. I came back after my first flight to be there. And actually, this was before my first flight. I take that back. Some of my rowers, the people I had taught how to row, were in this boat. They rowed in the Wendy, and their division's championship. Can't quite see it, but there's this thing on the end of the boat called a bow ball. And so also on my first line, I took the bow ball from that boat up into space with me. So who are my rowers in the audience? Okay, you know the world of 500-meter split time? This is for you. You want to take a guess at what my bow ball split time was on this mission? 0.06 seconds. So this has obviously been, for me, one of the highlights of my rowing experience is to have a shell made for me, to have rowers that I thought actually win a championship in it. It's a great sport. If you're thinking about a sport to be involved with, think about crew. The bonds you form with the people in that boat are very strong. They're permanent, they're lasting. It is a very unique sport, and I was very, very privileged that